It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning. Thank you for tuning into this week's edition of City Beat. I'm CJ Carter, and joining me in studio today is Mayor Dennis Fenske. Thank you for coming in, sir.
Good morning.
Now, if you have a question that you'd like to ask Mayor Fenske, give us a call on the on-air line, 677-8181. So, to kick things off, what's been happening around the city?
Just a couple safety shares to start with. You'll notice in the downtown area and residential areas, Thompson Drive, that street sweepers are out, the lawn sweepers are out, and so we're encouraging people to be aware of the equipment and the dust that comes with that. Those that are doing their own lawns, we have about a 3-week window where people can clean their lawns off onto the street. Just make sure you don't push it out into the street too far. Keep it close to the curb. And then over the next 2 to 3 weeks, our sweepers will be around to pick it up and transport it to the landfill. So that's the cleaning aspect of. The other safety share I want to talk about is has an impact locally and also nationally from a Fort McMurray perspective. We are in a very dry session as well here. Not a lot of snow in the winter, and it's very dry right now, so be very cautious for cigarette butts or vehicles or fires of any kind that they can get out of hand. Speaking of Fort McMurray, we have a lot of residents or former residents that work and live in Fort Mac. I know CHTM has one employee that has contacted back, but just want to bring up a couple things. One, Canadian Red Cross, you can donate at redcross.ca, or you can text Red Cross to 30333 to assist with in any way that you can towards the help and relief of the Fort McMurray residents and surrounding area.
Excellent. Yeah, it's definitely a somber situation going on in Fort McMurray. So for questions this week, one thing that I wanted to make mention of last week was City Council passing a motion at the last meeting that brings a Manitoba Housing unit one step closer to reality at 128 Hemlock Crescent. Are you able to explain a little bit about the project and what the process is now that ordinance was passed?
Yeah, basically Manitoba Housing has purchased the property in question at the corner of Hemlock and Cree Road. It was formerly a daycare and formerly before that an apartment block. So that building will be taken down and a new one replaced with housing facilities. The issue that they came to council, they required a variation because of the parking requirements, so that was dealt with. There will be on-site parking that enters and exits off of Hemlock. The garbage pickup sites will be on the one-way public lane. Additional parking will be for visitors will be available across the street in the United Church Lutheran Church parking lot. And so council reviewed the plans. We had some discussions on it back and forth, and administration recommended we approve, and we did. So that'll be moving forward. So it's a good news stories from a perspective of a new construction in our community of probably in the $4 million range. So that's nice to see as well.
Absolutely. A quick reminder to those calling, if you have a question you'd like to ask Mayor Fenske, you can give us a call right now, 677-8181. Now, of course, one of the biggest news stories at the tail end of last week was RCMP finding the remains of Nicholas Brophy. And, of course, we know now, not long after, there were 2 arrests made, and both men have appeared in provincial court earlier this week. And this got me thinking, because the RCMP is a federal body, so their chain of command would be a little bit different than a normal municipal police force. How updated did they keep the city throughout their investigation?
Well, the RCMP are employed by the city of Thompson under a contract basis so they are our police force. We have a really good relationship with the commanding officers, both the rural and the city divisions in Thompson. So as far as updates, I get regular updates in regards to incidents of various kinds throughout the time that they occur. Most recently with the discovery of Nicholas Brophy, and again my heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Nicholas. It's not the ending that we wanted to find. There was tremendous efforts starting back in September of last year in the search for Nicholas, and like I said, unfortunately it came to this end. There is some closure in the fact that the family has Nicholas back, but from that perspective, that's small solace in the loss of a 19-year-old's life that was cut very short.
Absolutely. moving on, there was a presentation from Community Futures North Central Development yesterday at the Thompson Chamber of Commerce meeting that talked about their Northern Values strategy. What can you tell me about it?
Well, this is a true Northern value strategy in the sense of that all Northerners, in regards to municipal governments, First Nations, industrial groups, commerce groups in the North, are all involved in discussions in regards to how do we protect the boreal forest while we balance environmental needs and economic development needs as well. So it's been an ongoing discussion, and very good discussion and frank discussions in regards to what we need to do in regards to northern development while balancing off the environment and the protection of the boreal forest. So I've been very supportive of it. The City Council has passed a resolution supporting the values, and we'll be moving forward in regards to bringing it to the province of Manitoba and the new government in regards to the stance and position of Northern Manitobans. The other thing I should add is that this is a statement and a document that's been produced by Northerners, with Northerners having a strong voice in it. So that's a very valid and good point about how it came about.
Well, it's good to know that the city is behind something like this. We had a caller call in with a question. They're asking about a new handy van, if there's going to be a new one in the city.
Yes, it's in the 2016 budget. We're just working the process out. We understand and realize that the current handy van that is supplied to Juniper Center is in dire needs of replacement. So that's in the capital plan. It will be replaced. We're just working out the process of doing that.
Oh, good. So hopefully that answers our mystery caller's question. Now, yesterday was McHappy Day at McDonald's locations all around the world. I spoke with Brett O'Meara earlier this morning, the owner of the Thompson, the McDonald's location, and he gave me their fundraising total. And from food sales and tickets for their auction items, they raised $10,630.95 for the Hope North Suicide Prevention Committee, doubling last year's amount, which is an absolutely stellar day. So I thought this would be a great time to talk about how this community comes together.
Well, and it's another example, and Brett does a super job in regards to McHappy Days and his staff and the people that from the community that come out and help serve throughout the day. The numbers, again, it's just an indication of Thompson. Most recently, we had the Relay for Life. We're well over $100,000, which is well in excess of Brandon. We've had a comment from Brandon that they want to know how we do it. And so from the City of Thompson's perspective, it's not surprising. We as a community are very supportive of a lot of issues and commitments in our community, and yes, kudos to the community at large, but especially most recently with McHappy Days. Good job, Brett, on your staff and organizing it and getting the event done.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up, was there anything else that you wanted to mention?
Big reminder on the census. Again, I know I got my notice yesterday in the mail. You should be receiving your cards or knock on the door in regards to the census forms. A reminder that for the City of Thompson, the impact of not including yourself in the census over a 5-year period. The census is done every 5 years. So everyone that doesn't submit the census costs the City of Thompson over 5 years in grants and transfer payments $45,000. So it's very, very important that everyone fill out their census complete. You can do it online. You can mail it in. If you get the long form, please fill it out. But that helps the City of Thompson in regards to all of the transfer payments and grants that we've received from the federal and provincial government that are census basis. So our current population is 13,123. We want to make sure we at least hit that number, if not more. So I encourage everyone to fill out your census, mail it in, email it in, and complete the forms.
Just emailed mine yesterday. And on that note, if you do have any questions on census information or you're looking for more information, census.gc.ca is the place to go for that. So that does it for this edition of City Beat. Make sure to join us every Thursday at 11:30 to find out what's happening around the city and City Hall. I want to thank my guest, Mayor Dennis Fenske, again for joining us this week. For 102.9 CHTM, I'm CJ Carter.
City Beat will be back next Thursday morning at 11:30.